Okay, the first thing you need to do in HomeStyler, once you've gone to homestyler.com, you can see the address at the top here, is you need to sign in. Now, for most of you will already have actually joined. You should have used your school email and your school email password. I'm going to sign into mine now. So if you actually tick the remember me, you won't have to remember your password or have to fill it all in again next time. And sign yourself in. This should now recognize you up here so it knows who it's talking to. And I'm going to go straight for this create a new design tab. Click on the get started now tab. You probably get a window like this that will pop up, and what you want to do is actually start from scratch. So we'll click on here. Now I'm ready to start dragging and dropping things out onto screen. Before we start doing that, it's worth just to consider the controls that are available to us. So at the top here we can switch between the 2D and the three-dimensional view. We can take snapshots of various rooms as pictures if we want to. Here we can choose if we want to have more than one floor, so we can add floor levels in. We've got a zoom slider so we can zoom in and zoom out of our picture. And we can fit it all into one window, or we can go full screen. Over on the left hand side we've got various menus for file, saving, editing, viewing. We can actually save and print and things like that. And the one you're probably most interested in is this one here, which is the catalogue. Now on the catalogue you can choose all the various different things that you might want to use, and later on we're going to be picking on these and dragging and dropping them onto screen. But we're starting off with the actual room area, which is this one. The other thing to show you, just off my screen, if I scroll down, I've got various options here, some advertising, for whether I want to work in feet or meters and centimeters, which I'm going to work in meters. We've got this feature which allows us to show dimensions, and then we've got this one here which is to do with the scale of the drawing. Okay, your starting point is to drag and drop some rooms, so I'm going to drop this square shape up here. I'm going to go for an L-shaped one, drag this onto the screen as well. Can't see it too well, so I'm going to zoom a little bit to make that a bit easier to see. I can grab and move. If I select a room, I can actually move that whole room around, and you'll notice when it goes yellow there's various options I've got there. Rotate is one of them, but I've also got these things to do with locking the position, changing the style of the room and things like this, so I can make different shapes and do different things with it. I'm not going to do any of those for the time being. I'm going to maybe select this one, rotate it around a little bit, get that one square, and you'll see as I go over some of these other things I get options for dragging. Now here it will actually show me dimensions as I move them through, so I can alter the actual shape and size of my rooms. If I want to see the dimensions on everything, all I do is come back down here and hit the dimension all button, and it will show me what all of my actual dimensions are using the zoom or the roll button on your mouse. Zooms in and zooms out, so you've got a lot of control over what you're doing. After you've adjusted the room to the sizes that you want, if you want to add in any additional things, these expand your room additions. So for instance, if you wanted to add a square bit, you can actually pull that in and take it and add it into the part of the wall where you'd like it to be, and again you can change that again afterwards if you want to change the shape and make it a little bit more subtle. If you don't like any of these things, you can basically come up and use the undo button and get rid of those changes. Other options you've got are to add interior walls and half walls and so on into the actual thing. So if you wanted to divide one of these up afterwards, you could bring yourself in an interior wall. You can then select it and you can bring that to whatever size you see fit. Maybe you divided the whole room up. If you wanted to add in splits to these or wall openings, you can do that by adding them in. You can see here that there's now a gap between these walls. Any of these things are, if you want to be able to mirror a real room, you want to be able to design it yourself, you can do this sort of thing. Again, anything you don't want, you can get rid of it. In the same way, if you want to add an opening in, so this is a split in the wall or a wall opening, you can put that in. Maybe this is an area that goes out to a patio or something, an outdoor area, and again you can make that the size that you want it to be. You can see the dimensions popping up. If you're not happy with it, you can delete it or go back and delete it later on. Something else worth looking at is adding an extra floor in. So if we go to floors here, we can always add a level, and we're going to call this one second level. Now you can choose, this could be to make it into a two-story house, or it could be so that you basically choose two different designs for the same layout and you can compare them. But we'll say clone another level. We'll clone our first floor, so we've got two levels in there. So at the moment we're going to stay working on the first floor. Okay, the next thing you can have a look at is actually defining the outside of that your house, maybe like the garden shape and so on. So if you go to Catalogue again, this time choose Define the Landscape Area, and you can choose, say we'll pick a grass area for now, and I'm just going to set up the kind of outside area around this house. Just clicking and dragging, and when I'm happy with that, I'll double click, and there's my grassed in area. Now again, I can edit things on there later if I wanted to add other things in. Maybe I've got a swimming pool, I could put my swimming pool in somewhere just outside here maybe. Not quite straight, I can adjust that afterwards by going into the point on it, making it the shape that I want it to be. You can see it's turned into a swimming pool kind of view. Want to see that full screen or fit to the page, there we go. Okay, so I've got the basic setup of my house ready to go.